It's a beautiful day here in Golden, Colorado for my visit to the Rocky Mountain Quilt Museum. I've never been to this location. It's been here 4 years. It's not just a quilt museum with a big gallery, it's also got a great gift shop. Let's go on in.
Now, you can't go wrong in this kind of a gift shop. All kinds of sewing supplies and t-shirts and jewelry and lots of things. But of course, my favorite part was the antique quilts they had for sale, very reasonable prices, and then they had the book sale. I got a couple of books by friends of mine.
Here I am in one of the rooms of the Rocky Mountain Quilt Museum. This is a show of quilts by Eugenia Mitchell, the founder of the Rocky Mountain Quilt Museum. There's a whole story on the wall here about Eugenia. And the quilts, I'm going to flip my camera around so you can see some of these quilts. The first one is a bunch of dominoes. Check this out. That's a brilliant quilt. Look at that. The quilt right next to it is the only antique in this room. The rest of them are all made by Eugenia herself, and they're very clever and really beautiful. This one is just a gorgeous antique quilt. It's called Sugarloaf. Look at that. Here's the history of Colorado here. Here's a signature quilt. The design is Halley's Comet. It's a Halley's Comet signature quilt made by Eugenia. And here's my favorite one of Eugenia's. Now, I didn't know Eugenia Mitchell. She opened this museum with 101 quilts from her collection after raising consciousness and money to do it. And some of her quilts were old quilts, and some of them were ones that she made. Well, she made this one here. And the cool thing about it is you can tell from looking, this is somebody that enjoyed applique. That's what we know about Eugenia, is that she loved it. You don't do this kind of work if you don't enjoy it. And she obviously loved it. So good. It's called the Vine Quilts. Let's look at some other ones.
The show that happened to be up when I was in Golden visiting was the 30th anniversary show. There's a lot of very, very fine quilts made that are in their collection from the modern era, like these. I mean, come on. But for me, the real treasures are around the corner in their antique quilt selection from their collection. Look at these beautiful antique crib quilts. Just gorgeous. I mean, this tiny little basket, it's only, I don't know, but it's a crib size quilt. You can just stop the video right there.
This quilt behind me is one of the best quilts I've ever seen in my life. It's a Blazing Star variation, and look at it, would you? Let me turn around so you can get a gander. It's so big I can't get it all in the frame. But you get the idea here. Look at that. It's like fireworks. Wow. Here's one by Betsy Bailey Sanford in the 1930s, which is clear if you see the fabrics, 30s and older. Look at that. The wall text says there's over 37,000 pieces of fabric in that quilt.
I said farewell to the Rocky Mountain Quilt Museum and started my 8-hour drive to get to Lincoln, Nebraska to see the International Quilt Museum.